And what's going on, everyone? My name's Dom, and this is episode 4 of the Completing the Circuit podcast. As you know, I got my friend Joe here.
Hello.
And instead of Kyle this week, we got our good buddy Sam. So we're going to switch these guys in and out and see how things work out. We're trying to keep things interesting for you guys. So we're going to, I know last week we introduced the news of the week, but because there's the Xbox event happened today, we're going to skip that, and we'll get back to doing that next week because there's a lot to talk about, and ironically enough, nothing to talk about because that was the worst.
That sucked. That Xbox thing sucked.
I was very unimpressed.
Yeah. You know, I thought the Sony one had, it's like, okay, there's some games here I don't really care about, but
At least they had a presentation. I turned this thing on and there's nothing. I was like, is this even it? It's right away a game demo of Halo.
yeah, and the demo was slow. It was
It was slow and looked like something for Xbox One.
it did.
It's like what you play at Target when you go up as a kid trying to play the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it really seemed like when you were, back in school and you had a project that was due and there were the groups that would actually put their time in and they'd make a great project. And there was that group that I always was a part of that did the project the day before and it really showed. And it just seemed like it was very sloppily put together.
Yeah.
I mean, and to start with your most iconic game is kind of a flop.
Yeah, and to do it that way, like if they had came in, hardcore, lots of fancy Halo-y stuff, cool. But it was just like, yeah, it's gonna, you start at this level.
I love that we walk around, look at the world. Oh, great. And then they start shooting. That's wonderful. It's a Halo game.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of UI. Now, I will say, if they're going open world with it, and you get to do a whole Halo ring, like that's the open world rather than the typical traditional like map style, like open island style, like Grand Theft Auto open world. Like that's like the whole Halo ring. That would be interesting.
You're talking about like multiplayer play, like
No, I'm saying like just the campaign itself. The multiplayer, I guess, would just take place in different sections of the Halo.
So
ring.
like an Assassin's Creed.
Well, yeah, just an open world game, but
Yeah.
it's just the whole Halo ring because it's shaped like a ring and it's just
I
go
mean,
around.
according to them, it's their biggest map. Yeah, it's bigger than the last two Halos put together. That's what they are saying.
Oh, Halo 4 and then Guardians.
But still, I mean, if that's what the graphics are going to look like,
Yeah,
I mean, you're not fooling me with this is on. It doesn't even look like it's on Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, what do graphics matter in Halo, anyways?
It doesn't.
The game's supposed to be cartoony. It's supposed to be sci-fi. Like I could care less about the sky that the guy looked at for the first 5 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just,
fair.
that doesn't wow me. They should have came in with like multiplayer gameplay.
Yeah.
Like you start for the first 5 minutes, constructing this guy's arm. Like it made me want to cut off my arm and get one. Like, and then you transition to hey, press start for demo.
Yeah.
Like that's what you got.
Yeah. And then it was just he's going around. He's shooting. What is the Covenant? What is it called? Not the Covenant. What are the Covenant was from the fourth one. Halo 4.
Oh, the little minion things.
Yeah, the aliens, whatever they're called. I always forget whatever that one's called.
Yeah, those things. And then you got Thanos that comes out.
Oh, that was funny. The chat. Did you see the live stream? The chats. Everyone saying Thanos.
No.
It's Thanos. Oh, I was dying. I was like, oh my god, it is Thanos. It's funny because it's Halo Infinite, Infinity Stones.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things that I mean I agree with Sam. I mean graphics not, and then they say, oh, we're gonna bring multiplayer. We'll show you guys multiplayer in a couple
later.
months.
Yeah, that's how you started off.
First of all, that's what you want to show.
Right.
That's what made this game the way it is now.
Exactly. I mean, people were hacking the original the Halo 1 to do online when it didn't, like they tricked the console into thinking that was like a local area play, but it were actually playing online for the original one. Halo 2 came with it with Xbox Live, but it's just it's an online shooter game.
Yeah.
Like the game, campaign's important.
It's OG of online shooter games.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
I don't know if you guys remember like Halo 2 and 3 on all the people that would hack and like the wonderful things that they came up with. I remember getting so frustrated game after game where like some guy had gone in and hacked the game so that you'd get a battle rifle that shot out sniper bullets and it was instant headshots. And it was like you'd respawn and die, and it just kept going.
Yeah.
And I know we were playing, we ended up befriending the guy, and he had a hack for like the Warthog. Every time you hit the horn, it would shoot rockets out. I mean, it was just ridiculous what people were doing with that game.
That's awesome. That's like what was it, Modern Warfare 2? Or no. So Killzone for PlayStation, it was like the Halo competitor, Sony's competitor for Halo for PlayStation. So It was fun, like it was enjoyable, but that got hacked really bad, and there was they had the concept was all the weapons had like a secondary fire. It's like the shotgun shot 1 round for primary and then 2 rounds simultaneously for secondary, and then if you pressed them at the same time, you shoot 3 rounds, and that was fine. But one of the guns had a grenade launcher, and there was a basically a hack that you could do, and it would make it shoot rapid fire. So you would just see people off in the distance, just like just in grenades, just lining up, and just deaths and dead bodies. And you know what? I kind of miss those times. Like when Modern Warfare 2, you were scared to go on because it's like not only did you have to be pro, but you had to be
or camp in a corner. Yeah, throw your claymores down, get your noob tube ready.
It was survival.
I don't know if you guys were really disappointed. I was tremendously disappointed when that started, and you had Fidel Castro driving the flying the plane.
It's okay, we'll beat that.
All I can think is, like, where's Sergeant Johnson? Like, he was such an iconic character in all the Halos, and like now he's not there.
Yeah,
like you replaced him with some dude. Like, who's that guy? I mean, nobody knows.
No.
But you bring Sergeant Johnson, in, and you're like, that's the guy.
Yeah, I was he in Halo? I don't think he was in Halo 4.
I don't know if he was in. I know he was in like the first 3 Halos, and he
Mhm.
was just awesome. And then he got better with every single one because they made him more vocal and have more of a role. So I don't know. I was bummed.
Yeah, the whole thing was just unfortunately underwhelming. Like some of the I wanted to look optimally and stuff like that. I do see with the cartoonier graphics. I definitely, as long as the resolution's good and it looks sharp and clean, like let it be cartoony. Doesn't it be ultra realistic? Because
It
that's
didn't even look like that.
yeah, it didn't. It looked like it was. I mean, even Xbox fans that I watch on YouTube that are huge Xbox fan people, they were like, "This looks like it's running on an Xbox One X,"
Mm-hmm.
and that's not the only game that did that. And then they went off into that State of Decay thing with the weird deer, of which we didn't see any gameplay. And then from there, it went on to a bunch of other indie games. I don't even remember what the whole list was.
Yeah, some of them were really odd.
Yeah,
The best one is Tetris, guys.
I mean, I'll throw down some Tetris.
Tetris multiplayer.
Yeah, that's the best game.
Yeah, that.
Ooh, that made me really excited.
Don't know if you guys know this, but I was the 1997 Mount Prospect Tetris champion.
For the OG Game Boy.
Oh yeah, don't look it up. It's not true.
Okay, I was gonna say I never played in any championships. I didn't.
Yeah, I don't think there were one. It was self-appointed. Self-appointed.
Self-appointed.
for sure.
I see.
Yeah, I got.
It was like a Tekken tournament.
Yeah,
Just by himself though.
just 4
Without-
drops.
no,
every time.
the best part is he didn't even need the link cable. He was that good,
Oh man, the link cable.
right? Right. I kind of miss those days of being able to do the network play.
Yeah, and then they
Stuff.
made that weird like butt to butt. Like, did you ever see that? I think it was a Game Boy Color where it had the little like reflector on it. You
Oh,
could do
the
that instead of
infrared
link. Yeah,
and the top, and you aim it at the other. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was weak sauce.
I'll touch yours with mine.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's just
It was,
where we were and where we
So
are
you wanna
now.
trade
it was Game Boy
Pikachus?
Color.
But it's crazy. It's like you go back to something like that where like all the games were about content because the graphics weren't there. They put more of their effort into a storyline or keeping you
Right.
occupied for a lot longer. And now, you look at this show today, and it's all about look at the trees 100 feet off in the distance, and the
Yeah.
grass flows like real grass. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like is the
It's
game
like
going to
that's
be
nice, but is it going to be good? And when you add all that together, it's an amazing experience. Like some of the Rockstar games, this
Yeah.
was just you're right because now it's like back then they couldn't update the game, so
Yeah.
there was no patches, so it had to go out right the first time, more or less.
I mean, what do you expect? I mean, it's not made by Bungie anymore, so
Yeah,
what I
but
mean.
but Halo 4, I enjoyed Halo 4. I know a lot of people didn't because you could sprint and it had loadouts, and that took away from the whole like Halo concept of.
I do like the fact they added sprint. I know a lot of people
I liked it too.
took it
Yeah.
away, but I'm like, I like the fact that I can move a little bit faster.
Especially when the maps are bigger, because you
Yeah.
can't have bigger maps without having bigger form of foot movement.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Sprint definitely changed the game. That's how I was able to beat you and Chris and Oddball by myself. So,
I'm just
1v2 in
yeah.
Oddball.
That's the case no matter what shooter we play, though. Even if it
But
don't matter.
you know what? I'm
I just-
excited.
yeah.
I'm excited for the new Halo. I will absolutely buy the game, probably knowing that Halo's coming out, and hopefully it wasn't like the last two. I
Yeah.
didn't really care for the last two.
The Guardians was not good.
I'll
did not
probably go
enjoy
back to Xbox. I've had some qualms with PlayStation and like their upload speeds and whatnot, because I try to download all my games now, and I feel like it takes 48 hours just
Yeah.
to download a game on PlayStation, which is ridiculous.
I don't know. Well, we have gigabit internet though, Joey. For anyone not watching watching this on YouTube or somewhere, yeah, Joe's shaking his head. Yeah, we have. So I have gig speed. You have gig speed. A game will take if it's a 40 gig game.
On PlayStation, at least for me, I don't know. Sam, I hear what you're saying. I'm just shaking my head due to the fact is I've never had that. It's completely opposite for me. PlayStation downloads.
I'll get 40 gigs in like 90 minutes, if that.
Not even that. Mine usually I've done 40 gigs in about 15.
Oh, I
10,
have.
15
I would say
minutes.
the average, because it just depends on when you're using the network. Like in the
I'm-
middle of the night, it's blazing.
I've never had issues with the PlayStation Network taking that long. Xbox takes forever for me.
You see, and I was always the opposite. Like
Yeah.
I got kind of forced into peer pressured into getting a PlayStation. So I went and got it.
Sam, you peer pressure?
I got peer pressured into
Whoa.
it. Actually, you know what? I said, if I win this fantasy football league, I'll take the money and I'll buy a PlayStation because I was playing in the one guy.
I thought your like parents-in-law bought it for you or something for Christmas.
No,
The PS3, your PS3.
no, my PS4.
Oh, your PS4.
Yeah, so I said I'd never do it, and then I finally did it just because the guy that wanted me to get it, he plays the games that I play. He wants more people playing with him, whatnot. And I got it, and I've just been so disappointed with it. I really have. I mean, it seems like the online play is a little bit slower. I mean, maybe the talent's not there like it is on Xbox. And after seeing Halo's coming back, I'm definitely going to merge back to the new Xbox.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and like we were talking about earlier, too, like the controllers.
Yeah, the controller is, and I've said this in the PS4 review, the Xbox controller for this generation was my favorite, overall my favorite. Like the PS4 controller has its perks, but no, the Xbox controller.
That's one thing Xbox have had over PlayStation since day one.
Yeah, is the controller.
Was their controllers.
Is the controller.
But I know for me, I'm doing both consoles.
Yeah.
That's
And I think to see, I'm sorry, Joe, I didn't mean.
Oh,
I didn't
no,
mean to
no,
interrupt
go ahead.
To see what Sam said, I've always felt that the Xbox thing. This is why I was so disappointed by the stuff they had in today's showcase, because Xbox was always, because of the how successful Xbox Live was and the trigger controller, like that sort of everything. Xbox always felt like competition. So they didn't show any online play. All the indie stuff that they showed, or even like Forza and stuff, there was 2 games that had gameplay. None of which anything looked like it would be online in the slightest bit. They had a game where you're like a little kid in a forest.
Well, except for Halo.
Well, except for Halo, yeah. So and then I mean they did the Fable announcement at the end, which I'm super excited for. But
State of Decay 3 had a little bit of gameplay.
no, it didn't. It didn't have any gameplay. It was just a chick in a forest polishing her gun.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry. You're
Screamed at a
absolutely right.
wolf and then
Yeah.
a deer screamed back at
Yeah.
her. Like,
Yeah,
You're
that was it.
absolutely right.
And,
Sorry.
and so that whole thing that Xbox did just seemed to. It just didn't. I don't know. It doesn't feel like that competition aspect's there anymore. Not for this one.
It was rushed out. I mean, you could tell on. I always forget the guy's name. Who's the guy that's the head of
Phil
Xbox?
Spencer?
Yeah, you could tell on his face there was something wrong because I've seen Phil Spencer's in interviews, and there was definitely something. I think there's someone a higher above Phil that pushed this.
Possibly. I mean, yeah. They could.
That's what I'm thinking. Because you and I talk about Phil a lot, and we both know the man knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not like him.
No, it's not.
This is not like him, and I could tell. You could tell on the thing. The guy didn't even look really that happy. He just goes, and this is this. And,
Yeah, we're happy to bring this. They did a plug for Game Pass.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think that's just the now, like, Microsoft's going from the approach of, all right, fine. Phil Spencer, you brought us back. You got us our money back from the Don Matrick thing in the Xbox One VCR edition.
Yep.
And now, now we're making sales, even though their sales are, I think the Switch beat out the Xbox One sales, and the PS4, I mean, that dominated everything. It's
going to dominate again. After today, it's going to dominate again.
Yeah.
There's no coming back from this. There's no coming back from this. I don't care.
It's tough.
You didn't show anything regarding what PlayStation showed.
Well, now, I mean, are we being overly critical? Like, there is a pandemic going on. Like, is that what? I mean,
Yeah.
that I think it's a valid point. Are these people able to,
I didn't think about
talk
that. Yeah.
and communicate to get something fluid out for the viewers to see, or is that more of a reason for them to have a better, more ironed out product?
It's possible. Sony got, I mean, not all their stuff was solid, but Sony had at least like 3, 4, or 5 heavy hitters.
Yeah.
That people were really excited about.
But what I'm getting back about Sony is they actually showed aspects of the PlayStation, what it can do. We didn't see anything with the Xbox, what it can do. Meaning they didn't go into detail about load speeds was number one. They didn't go into details about that.
Yeah, Yeah.
You only hear about on articles about, yeah, the load speeds are faster. It got solid state drive as well. This, that, and the other. But
Supposedly those are going to be really expensive. By the way, I don't confirm. Hold on, let me see, because I thought I read it, and I could be totally wrong. Those things would be like $200.
what?
Their proprietary memory cards.
Oh, really?
Hold on, let's see.
What, is that a separate thing you have to buy?
Well, I think it'll come with one 1 terabyte memory. Like it's 1 terabyte of memory built in for storage, and then to get additional like expansion memory cards that you slide into the back. I mean they're basically PC hardware, but they're going to be astronomically expensive. I wish I could find the price.
So now, what's the internal memory on this new console that's coming out versus like the old console?
They haven't announced it yet. From what I understand, from what people are saying, it's going to be 1 terabyte, which the original Xbox launched with 500 gigs. Now you can get them with 1 to 2 terabytes. Although they're discontinuing the Xbox One X, they're not making them anymore. So yeah, I'm not finding the price in here, but I know that. So Sony Sony has their NVMe storage or whatever that they're doing, but because it's based off PC hardware, it's going to be expensive, but not as expensive. So I really wish I could find that price for this, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Supposedly it's going to be expensive for the Xbox storage.
I mean, anything's worth the cost to have more than 3 games that I can play without having to re-download all my other games.
Yeah, it's okay. So I read it. I saw an interesting thing about that. So in order to make games load faster on a traditional hard drive, right? Now I was talking to Joey about this like a couple episodes ago. So things are like physically positioned on a disk, and in essence, what they'll do is, if you're in a city and you need to load up a building or whatever, and that building also is another level, they will put the building in there twice. So games become bigger because they do the assets to make it. So because everything's going to be so much faster, the game should be smaller, but then everything's going to be higher resolution. It's going to be bigger. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have like 3 or 4 games that I used to juggle between, and it seemed like that was the cap for what I could store on my Xbox.
Yeah.
And then, if I wanted to go back and play a game, I had to re-download it, delete one out, and then it was just this vicious cycle of going back and forth. So, I mean, even if it costs a bunch, it might be worth it in the end, so that you can freely play the games that you want.
I don't understand why game systems don't make it where you got the cloud now. And you know how you can save things to the cloud? A lot of times those gigs are not on your actual device, right? I don't understand why game systems don't do that. Where if you're downloading games, have it in the cloud system where those gigs don't affect your storage. Now, if you buy an actual game and you have the CD and you install it that way, yeah, fine. That's going to affect your gigs then. But if you're downloading like we do, let's at least save it to the cloud then. Then we don't have to worry about the whole storage thing.
So you talking about like the cloud streaming thing? Like, or are you talking about like store? Because they already store it in the cloud per se whenever you download something from Xbox Live or whatever.
But it still affects your storage. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to. But I mean, the parts of the console need to load the data off the drive.
But I'm just saying you can save stuff like right now on our laptops, right?
Yeah.
We can save stuff to the cloud and it doesn't affect our storage.
Sure, but you need to beam it into memory at a very fast speed. I mean, in some cases it's gigabits per second, and the average person, I think, in the United States is 40 megabits per second. Like it's just not possible to send assets. You're talking about like the game is stored, but the load calls from the console get made, and then it just sends them over to your device.
This way your storage is not being affected. You know what I mean?
I mean, if internet was faster, if everyone was like gigabit, that's plausible. Like you just keep like major assets that you would need like immediate access to, and then like a car or whatever, a football or something you could leave on the. If there could be something to that, I could see that possibly working if internet speeds were faster.
I mean, you got people. I understand that most people don't have the gig speed internet, but for the people that I know this might sound selfish a little bit, but for the people that do, at least give us that have an option.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it working, or even, that's interesting. Well, I mean, also, it'd be cool too, because I know that home network storage, so they're called NASs, right? And it's a bunch of hard drives and everything. Like, I wonder if they could make proprietary ones that you could hook up to like your router or your switch or whatever, and it stores the games. So it's like what you're talking about, but instead of keeping it on the console, right? You could say, okay, I archive this game, so it moves it over to a local storage somewhere in your house. And then you could just move the thing over when you're ready to play it, and that would take, substantially less time than over the internet. So like a similar-ish thing, but you could like hot swap games on the fly.
And that'd be a good actually thing to do for people that don't have the gig speed.
Yeah.
If you have the gig speed, then you don't have to worry about that. You can just get it, right?
Yeah.
But for people that don't, then there's another option for them to do that.
Mhm.
So basically, everyone wins.
Well,
at
and
the
like,
end of the day,
how much would that increase people going back and playing old games? Because right now, I mean, it's a turnoff to have to re-download an old game to go play it for what, just to be nostalgic, and then you have to delete one of the games that you're actually playing so that you could, reload that old game back in there so you could start playing it again. I mean, I don't know if it's conducive to, what we're doing now or even what we can do in the future. So, I mean, and you're saying store it anywhere in the house. It's funny because that new Xbox look, you could literally put that anywhere. It looks like a humidifier. So
it does look like. It does kind of look like a humidifier, like with green, with green water vapor on the top instead of. I don't know. The storage thing is definitely. I know Sony's been working on the whole Kraken thing and their higher level compression, and a bunch of stuff in compression science has been coming out lately to make the game smaller. Yeah. But then all these devs are going to do is just make the games bigger, because it's like, well, we need, or we want 100 gig games. So now you're telling us, oh, you brought it down to 75, so now we have 25. We could add more stuff to.
I mean, there's that, or do something. I mean, give something to the people. That's all I'm saying. I know I am always preaching about that about every single podcast, but seriously, I mean, you're spending all this money. Why not? I guess I'm gonna just keep preaching it until I see something where people are actually getting something for what they're paying for, instead of always having to go and get more storage and spend money for that or anything like that. So, you got to go buy controllers. You have to go buy this, that, and the other. So if you're spending all this money on the accessories, at least give us the storage for it.
Well, yeah, it's what, like $69 a game or $59 a game? I can't remember the last time I bought.
$60 right now. Next gen supposedly going to be $70.
So that's $60 with your $10 subscription. Plus, you want to get the season pass or whatever it is.
Oh,
I mean, it's just ridiculous, And
you could spend $150 on a game, and it just came out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I am glad that I'm not seeing a lot of? I don't know if you remember when, I think it was Halo Reach came out, and you could buy like the Master Chief Collection, and you got a box and figurines, and they had all those like Legendary Edition games.
Yeah.
It's like, well, but you really just get a game with a whole bunch of tchotchkes to go with it.
Right. But you know what? So I hear that point. I like it though, because the people that do buy those things get more of the stuff that they want. Because I know that I think I bought like one collector's edition. It was like for a Final Fantasy game or something like that. But like that money helps to recoup some of the costs like up front initially, just to, so you know what I'm saying? Because if it creates less season passes for the rest of us, if 5% of the orders are 6 times the amount of the normal game, and that helps, because that stuff drives me crazy. With you get the game at $60. That Evolve games. Anybody remember Evolve? It was for Xbox.
Barely. Yeah.
It basically is 4v1. Someone's a monster. The monster has 3 tiers of strength. And the 4 people, they play, whatever. It's like a first-person shooter. And then, so it came out, and everyone was super excited about it because the concept seemed cool and all the trailers seemed cool. And it was pay to win all the way through. You had to buy additional monsters. You had to buy additional soldiers. You had to basically buy everything. Yeah. When Battlefield 4 came out, okay, to get the premium edition with all the maps for the same day that the game came out, it was $110.
I don't mind buying maps. I think buying maps maybe like 10 years ago was more relevant. I think there were more people that were going to buy a map pack or buy the season pass.
But back then you didn't have to buy maps. It was a demo disc that you get in a PC mag that you would get free maps for, like out of a CD. I
remember Call of Duty, because I'm a huge Call of Duty fan. And Call of Duty always was, they would release their map packs. It was like $15 or $20, and you could either pay for the season pass, which is the same price as the game, and you'd get all of these different map pack releases, or you can buy the individual map packs. I feel like now with Call of Duty, most of the people I play with, they're so turned off by previous Call of Duty games that they don't want to waste the money getting the season pass, because you don't know what's going to come out of it.
And then they'll have season pass 1, 2, 3, 4. It used to be you get the season pass, you get all the DLC for the life of the game. Mm-hmm. Now it's season pass 1 for year 1, and they keep building it on. Like it's stupid.
I honestly miss where you would get stuff unlocked by your skill and ability.
Yes, I miss those days.
I mean, I think the last true game that did that was maybe Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, where you know, based on the actions you did in the game and your skill in the game, you'd get a logo or a title. Like, that was the coolest thing. That was the bragging rights. Like, I've got this title that you'll never be able to get because I dropped a care package on somebody. You know,
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
yeah, or even the skins. You know, you get like a fancy rainbow, turquoise, whatever. It was just like a cool thing that you had that nobody else had, and now it's just everything seems to be pushing more money, and I feel like we're getting less.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Game Pass digital was already like, you know, we came from an era where you owned the game. Like, that was it. The console didn't need to be online. It didn't even have to be the same console, right? You pop it into PS2, pop it into an Xbox 360, it worked, right? That was the whole thing. Now it's, all right, you download the games, everything's digital, and it's whatever, right? So it's kind of like, well, you know, you own the games technically as long as the server's up, blah blah blah, whatever. But now it seems like they're trying to even go farther away from that, and it's just give us $10 a month, $15 a month, play whatever you want. But as soon as you can't, you know, you're screwed. And it's like, well, I don't want to pay $10 a month this month. Well, I also want to play this game. Well, now you're, you know what I'm saying? It's, I don't know. Everything just feels like it's stopped being about the art, started being more about the.
Well, do you ever think we're going to get to a point where, like, the graphics plateau? Like, we can't increase anymore. You can't see any difference to the human eye. And then we finally get to a point where we start focusing on the content of the game instead of what. Yeah, I mean, and when I say content, I mean, like, storyline, the things that you can do.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, I remember popping in a Call of Duty disc, and I'd be there playing the campaign for a week, maybe 2 weeks. And now I pop it in, I'm done with the storyline by the end of the day.
Yeah, before dinner. You're done. Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, do you ever think that something like that will happen where we can't improve graphically? So we pause on that, we accept it for where it's at, and then start focusing on the game itself. Because what else is there to do?
Yeah, well, I think we're getting there. So supposedly GTA 5 came out in 2013, is the 5th best-selling game this year. I'm trying to remember where I heard that from, but I heard that recently in Kotaku or somewhere. So, but I mean, you look at GTA 5, there's 100 hours worth of content.
Oh, absolutely.
And not even including the online stuff. And Rockstar has always set this sort of precedent, right? Like, we're going to take 10 years to make a game. But when you get it, you're going to be playing it for 10 years.
Absolutely.
And who else can say that? If EA and Activision, all these guys did that with the shooters. Like I tell Joey, like we were talking about it earlier today. Imagine Madden, right? All right, upgrade the graphics over here, whatever, right? But imagine Madden. It's that Madden for 5 years, but you get the rosters, whatever. You pay $10 for the season pass, you get rosters, whatever, right? Whatever it is. But give it like the quality. So even in the games that aren't as substantive as like an RPG with as much depth, I don't know enough about the sports games and how they've played over the years to really speak for it. But even Call of Duty.
Yeah. I mean, I think with the sports games, it's a weird category because you really can't improve the storyline of a sports game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Spike Lee could.
You get a yeah, right. Bring back NFL Blitz. So, but you get into a sports game and like what can you change? You change the roster. You give a new button combination for like a throwing play. Hey, you can do jukes and spins and stuff like that, like the one I did to you out of the end zone
when I broke my table afterwards because I was going to win.
You put a screwdriver through your table.
It was a cheap IKEA table. I didn't care about the table. It already had a hole from a party from before.
Damascene anger management.
Joe, he put a screwdriver through his table and kicked his sandal off, and it ended up
because I was going to win. Sam was talking smack for like a week that he could beat me, and then I was going to win. He was playing Green Bay and everything. He was like, "Oh, you had Seahawks, and they got their dudes run faster." I don't know. I didn't understand any of it. I just knew when I saw the score, it was like 16-13, and I was happy. There's 6 seconds left in the fourth quarter. I just touchdown. I just scored. Sam, you could see his face. He was just like he knew. He accepted.
I was worried.
He was like he knew he was going to lose. He's like, that's it. There's nothing I can do. And somehow. It was like, what was that? The Mighty Ducks miracle. He caught it. He juked around my dude, and I was going to tackle him. I saw it. I had the red ring around my feet and everything, and I was on my way. He spun, and I was done.
And to put it in perspective, I did it with Brandon Bostic. I think he had like a 23 speed, maybe a 10 agility. You know, no skill. So,
a tight end.
Yeah, I mean, but like, you know, in a sports game that.
Yeah,
you can do the roster. You can kind of mess around with the game modes. Unfortunately, Madden Online, I've never really had a lot of success with because be playing a game and it's almost like it just demands so much connection, and
Yeah.
it's frustrating because you get into a scenario like that and you go to tackle somebody and then there's some lag and before you know it, you're all the way off to the right
Yeah.
and they're still running down the sideline. And I mean, I did get into the Madden Ultimate Team for a while, but that's another one. That's huge. You pay to play to win.
Yeah, see, that's the part that needs to just go away. Like, go ahead and make us pay for costumes, whatever, right? If you want to go ahead and get all the skins and all that stuff like that. But release the game. Okay, you want to release maps a year later? Cool. Don't make all the content. It releases day one, and then there's 5 additional maps that I have to pay for, and I can only get that from some pack. Just for me to have to pay for more maps. I'll pay for the maps. But don't give me, just like with Evolve, a game don't sell me the game that's incomplete, because just then charge more for the game.
Right.
It just feels not.
No, I mean, I wish Call of Duty would give me all the guns instead of paying for these season passes all the time.
Well, like, when did they start coming out with, like, I remember Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, you got the guns that were going to be played with in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And like now all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, we've got this new gun that we're dropping this week for like season 3 of the Game Pass or whatnot, whatever they call it for Call of Duty. And it's like,
yeah,
you can't get that gun unless you buy it or pick it up from somebody that you just killed. And then you use it and you're like, wow, that's outstanding. So, it almost feels like they're putting in a better gun almost to entice you to buy that package.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's going to put you ahead. It's
yeah,
not
it's
even a
going to,
matter
yeah.
of, like, I think there was a
Pay
point
to
in
win.
time. Well, I think there was a point in time where you could pay to get ahead. But, like, now it almost feels like you have to pay to be able to compete.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
and it just feels like we're handcuffed into keeping up with that, keeping that vicious circle going where, like, you want to be competitive.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I did it once. I bought one.
Yeah.
I did it once just to see what happens, and it wasn't worth it. It really wasn't, because right off the bat, you buy one season and then like maybe a month, season 2's out, season 3's out.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, how come this is going so fast? You know?
Well, and like, what happened with prestiging? Because like once upon a time, it used to be like you'd go to level 70, you'd prestige and do 70 again and do it 10 times over, and then all of a sudden you're the highest you can go. And now it just like the whole prestige concept has kind of gone away,
Right.
And that's exactly what it was. It was prestige. Hey, what level are you? I'm level 9 or 9th prestige or whatever it is. And you say, oh, you're cute. You're 2. Awesome. And it just kind of goes hand in hand with what we were saying before, like those logos, those emblems, like the things to play for, and there's just nothing really to play for anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you can trash talk, which is one of my favorite pastimes, but that's the thing too, the way gaming's changed. Like, I remember playing in my barracks in Pensacola, Florida, and you'd hop on with a whole bunch of people you never knew, and it was the most chatty lobby you'd ever been a part of. And like now, and I don't know if it's because you've gotten older or whatnot, but it's just dead silent.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk to anybody anymore, and that was, I think, part of the fun of playing online. I think that's why I'm so much more a fan of playing online versus playing like storylines.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? I used to be in the same. I love playing online. I'd play offline. I'd play online. In some cases, I would think, like with Modern Warfare and stuff like that. As time went on, Call of Duty and Battlefield, it's like, okay, how many people jump in? And I know there are people that go and play the campaigns, but then sell the game, do like $60 for the game, and it's only the online. And then, or you can get like just the story for 40, and then you can combine them all for 80. I don't know. There's got to be a way to because there's a lot of R&D that goes into developing those stories. You have the voice acting, you have the animations, you have the cameras and the writing and all other stuff. So that stuff takes time and resources. And it's like those people should get paid for it, sure, but find a way to divvy it up so it doesn't feel so forced. And back to the thing you were saying about the pay to win. So I'm a big Tekken guy. In the last season, they released this guy called Leroy. Okay, so he's basically a Wing Chun, like black master, like 70s. He's a really cool character. He's blind too. It's just his whole look, his whole idea was just really cool. And he was OP. You couldn't beat him. He was winning tournaments. And so what happens in order to compete online? Tekken's has a huge online community. In order to compete online, you had to buy Leroy. That was it. And so it's penetrating all these
Yeah.
facets of games, and it's stopped being about the game being awesome and started being about, well, it's Q2 and we're 80% down in our ROI.
Well, some games too is if you do the campaign and you beat it, they give you rewards to use it for online. Sometimes. There's sometimes.
Yeah, and it's always like 100 credits less than what the lowest priced thing is.
Yeah.
So you still have to add your own money to
But
it.
there are sometimes you get a weapon or something like that.
You'll get a weapon, you'll get a skin, you'll get some kind of reward.
Yeah, but when I play Call of Duty, the first thing I do is campaign. That's me. I right away just jump into that before I even do online, and then after that, then I go on. I don't know why, but it's just the way I do it.
I used to when I thought, okay, I can get a feel for the game and the maps and stuff like that playing online or playing the campaign. And I played against Sam, and my self-esteem was ruined. When you have like 30 to 2, and the 2s were him killing himself by accident because he tried to throw a knife or a grenade and it bounced back and killed him, and I just happened to shoot him with a bullet at that exact moment, and the game just glitched and thought I killed him. And it's like, good job. It's like, no, I didn't actually do anything. So I realized that when I play the campaigns for games, the experiences, when they say the online experience may differ from the offline experience, they legit mean it. Like, it's a totally different thing. And I don't know if they do that on purpose now or what, because there was a point in time when that didn't feel like that was the case. Now, that could have just been because he's evil, him being Sam, and I just didn't know.
Just say you suck.
But I didn't. The only game I could beat Sam in
did. You were losing 30 to 2, and you didn't even get the 2 kills.
In Call of Duty, Halo is a whole nother thing. But in Battlefield 4, Battlefield 4 is a completely different game. And that was... Did you ever tell you about the incident with the airplane?
Yeah, you told me.
Oh,
helicopter?
I can't play Battlefield.
You told me that.
You spent like 45 minutes?
Yeah.
And then the guy with the rocket launcher, he said, that's it, I'm done. I spent 45 minutes sitting here patiently shooting at this helicopter, trying to take it down, didn't try to kill anyone else. Didn't do anything else. Guy with a rocket launcher takes it out. He dropped his controller. He never played again.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of Battlefield, but I think that's because I started off with Call of Duty, and that's what felt right,
And that's a lot more close quarters. Battlefield has close quarters, but it's
and Call of Duty's evolving. I mean, was it PUBG that came before Fortnite?
Yes.
So I mean, that like massive 100-player game where it's on one big platform and everybody. Kind of last man standing.
Yeah.
That really kind of changed Call of Duty because, you had what was it? It's Warzone in the new Call of Duty. I forgot what it was in Black Ops, but
I don't remember. I know Rainbow Six Siege. What was it? Siege 6? What was it? Rainbow Six Siege? It was the 5v5. You die once, you're done for the rest of the game.
I didn't play. I haven't played that.
And you pick a role or whatever. I don't know. That concept of last man standing has been growing. I know Battlefield
absolutely.
1 or Battlefield 5 implemented it too.
Yeah, I you know what, and it's fun. I've kind of opened up to the thought of playing that, and I started playing it a little bit more. And I know when I was playing in Black Ops, the one downside of it is you get killed, which I'm not a tactical player. I play Call of Duty. I run like into the thick of it. Yeah, it's like, oh hey, there's a grenade. I'm gonna go to it. But it just changed the way you play, and now thankfully because. Even though I know that's what it is, I still run towards, rockets and grenades. Now they've actually added a new feature where once your team's wiped, you can just launch another game from the menu. So you don't have to sit there and watch your teammate that is tactical and hides and doesn't help you out, for 45 minutes. The amount of levels of Candy Crush that I've crushed during, those Warzone games where I just sat there and waited for my teammates to be done. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I can only imagine.
The ground war game on Call of Duty is really cool too.
Yeah,
where you have a bunch of players.
You see, but that's not what Ground War first started off as. Ground War was like a 12v12. It was a larger. I think it was like double the players, or maybe like 2/3 of the players, and it was just a regular, team deathmatch. Kill confirm domination game, and that was fun. I always played it.
Kill confirm. I remember playing that.
But there's a lot of people that play that, and I'm not very good at it because I'm always trying to find people to shoot, and I can never find really anyone to shoot.
Yeah,
because it's so big, and then they're all hiding on top of buildings, which that's always fun because they're not paying attention. They're too busy sniping because they're dicks. and they just sit there and hide.
Yeah.
So you sneak up on them and you just shoot them all in one. I got 5 kills on a rooftop.
Oh, it's wonderful when you get moments like that.
Yeah.
Oh, the assassinations and yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's great. Like I unlocked the Price. I think it was Captain Price. He walks up behind a guy and just shoots him in the back of the head. It's like, all right, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Still not as good as the voice in Halo, but it's close.
So okay, so it's funny you talk about that. What was it? I was just about to say. So when so this whole PC, so Microsoft's been focusing a lot on PC in this, and this is related to everything we were just talking about. So there was a story that broke out like a week ago. This big time streamer, he's playing Call of Duty, he's playing it on PC, but he's using a bot or some kind of cheat that lets him see through walls, so he could see the skeletons go through walls, and he forgot to turn it off while he was streaming, and so in essence, that's one of the reasons why I like PC gaming, but the whole everyone being on different floors, you got to understand. I remember I had the triple monitors. My monitors could put like the reticle in the middle and all sorts of other dirty stuff I could do, and I could use the triple monitors to clip the camera through walls, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So I noticed with the Xbox event today that they are doing this whole PC Unity with Xbox thing, like it's available on both, and that's cool, I guess, but I'm trying to understand, like, so I like Xbox for a lot of things it has to offer, but none of the stuff seems to be exclusive. None of the stuff really seems to be like Xbox only. I mean, now they have Halos, all the Halos, I think, or not, maybe not all. They have a bunch of the Halos that they just now put on PC.
Well, and that's what kept people on Xbox was Halo.
Right.
You could only play it on Xbox, and now I think you could probably download it in Steam. I think I heard somebody saying that they downloaded Halo something for their
Yeah,
PC.
it's in their Windows store, and I saw a video the other day, although I don't know how genuine this video was, but because the PS4 architecture and the Xbox One architecture are so similar, there's apparently a way you can mod the PS4. Again, I do not know how true this is, but I saw the guy, he did a mod to his PS4 and he loaded Halo on his PS4, and you see the picture, and it's got Master Chief Collection as the little game icon. And so the consoles have become so PC-like, and now I feel like Microsoft is. I mean, I don't know. Are we just going to end up buying a Windows machine, and then you get like Xbox as a software to download on a?
It's whatever Microsoft, they're capitalizing. They just want to make as much money as possible. So it's they're making money off the PC and they're making money off of Xbox. It's just the income.
Yeah, I mean, and I was one of the big advocates where it was like, oh man, I want to play this game with my PlayStation friends, or I want to play, even when I had PlayStation, I want to play with my, Xbox friends. And then they opened up the crossplay on Call of Duty, and I was like, sweet, this is great. I'm going to be able to play against PlayStation, and they're like, oh, and PC.
Yeah,
and I want to have the option to like click the PC button and just kind of keep them off into their own.
Yeah.
I was playing a game the other night, and I was watching my teammate who was playing on PC. He was running, and then all of a sudden just completely turns 180. And I was like, well, that right there is what makes it unfair.
Yeah. Well, the mouse is superior to the joystick in every way for shooters. Like, you may not get the best movement with the WSD on the keyboard, but it's a huge advantage. I think some of the games do let you not have PC people come in, which there's like something sounds very like not racist, but you know what I'm saying? It just sounds platformist, whatever you want to call it. And then I think there's another game where it does something to mouse movement, or no, it gives you as a controller user an assist that helps lock on. But there's people that don't like that because they just want to be able to shoot where they want to shoot, and they're trying to go at a guy, and the game snaps on to another guy running across, and now you're dead when you're trying to shoot at the guy that's aimed at you, so on and so forth. So I don't know. This whole focus on the Windows thing with Microsoft is just it turned me off a little bit today.
Yeah,
and I can get past a lot of the other stuff. Fable, that's cool. Halo, that's cool.
The only thing cool about Fable was the toad eating that fairy.
That was awesome. Did you see the end?
No, you know what? I didn't catch the Fable part. I mean, I do remember old day Fable, go around, kick some chickens, and
yeah, it was fun. Yeah, murder your sister, don't murder your sister. It's up to you.
I just looked at the lineup that of what I did see, and it didn't seem like there was a whole lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
And it goes back to I think content, like even take everything out of there. Like what games would you have even put into that? I play Call of Duty, obviously. I play Halo. I play Madden. nothing else really piques my interest. You know, and
Mhm.
it's I've tried other games. It's not like I'm just completely shut down to them, but just nothing seems like it's got that like complete fit.
Yeah.
You know, like back in the day, Counter-Strike. You
Mhm.
know, that had everything, and it was so redundant. But like that was another game too, and to touch on what we said before, you know, that was skill. Like Counter-Strike was entirely skill.
Oh,
You
yeah.
couldn't get a different attachment for your gun to put you ahead of somebody. It was how quick your reaction time was.
That's
You
it.
know,
That's all it was. Yeah.
and I'd love for them to get away from, you know, everybody gets a first place trophy or ribbon and move towards a game that actually tests people.
Yeah.
You know, and you get ranked based on your ability.
Mhm.
Halo used to do it.
Yeah.
Halo, I think it was Halo 2, where you could get that like sought after sun logo next to your name saying that you were just maxed out. And then if you didn't play right, they'd drop you down a level.
Oh, really? So you had to maintain it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So it was-
did you play Halo 2 online, Joey? I never played Halo because you're an
Uh,
Xbox guy, right?
Yeah, I played it a couple of times, but not a lot.
Yeah, no, I mean, we religiously played. I remember being
Yeah.
in like junior high, high school, and we'd go just Halo all night, gummy bears, Toll House, cookie dough, and
Yeah.
some Pizza Hut pizza.
I miss those days, man. I remember we used to do Halo 4 tournaments at no, you were not there for that, but we
No.
used to do Halo 4.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I
and
wrecked all of you.
it was yeah. No. Yes.
Yes. Kyle was the only one that kept up.
Seth could keep up too. with
Seth
you.
kept up,
Yeah,
but Kyle would definitely keep up. But I think it
Kyle's
was some.
annoying when he plays.
Well, yeah, he's
so-
just dusty.
He's dirty.
So.
He's dirty. He just knows the little tricks. I'm not gonna. Okay, that's funny. I know you're getting
Yeah.
out with that. That's so. So I guess if there is a series, then, and Joey, I'll start with you. Like, obviously, there's a bunch of franchises that we're looking forward to. Like, I was hoping GTA 6 was going to get announced or something along those lines.
Oh, absolutely.
Next Tekken. Like, in the next 5 years, what's the one like must-have game? So do this one. Give me like your overall end all, and then give me like Xbox exclusive and PlayStation exclusive. So give me 3 games that you want to see, like, come out in the next 5 years.
Well, this is gonna sound really geeky to me or to everyone, but Superman,
Okay.
a Superman game would be actually really cool.
Wait, do they even have a current Superman franchise?
No, the last one was Superman Returns, and that was horrible for
What?
Xbox 360.
Yes, okay.
But an actual Superman game would be awesome. I would say, you know, of course, Grand Theft Auto. I mean,
But yeah, no. So what's an exclusive though? So like,
Oh.
yeah,
I see what you're saying. So yeah, Superman game would be awesome.
so it's your Xbox exclusive.
That's my Xbox. Yeah.
Oh, that's your Xbox exclusive.
Yeah,
Oh, I got you.
Because the reason is because there's no game like Batman's both for Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's only PlayStation.
hmm
So if anything, if I don't know how that would work, because you know, whoever makes it, if Warner Brothers does a Superman game, or if Rocksteady does, maybe they can keep it to the Xbox family. I don't know, but I would like to look for something like that in the future.
hmm
Honestly, they just came out with they're coming out with the Avengers game
Yeah.
that looks really good.
That's PlayStation though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a Justice League game would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool. Did you see the Iron Man VR?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I kind of want to try that, but continue. I'm sorry.
And I'm just trying to think another exclusive here.
It's an Xbox exclusive from
yeah,
like.
these are.
Oh no, you already said Xbox. You said. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
No, I'm just naming Xbox exclusives right now.
Oh, gotcha.
And then for the third one, I would say that's actually a tough one. I don't know for a third one.
We'll do a PlayStation one or a general one.
Actually, NFL Blitz.
Yeah.
Took my answer.
I did.
God, I love me some NFL Blitz.
Yeah.
I feel like people are stressed today because they can't randomly tackle and drop elbows on people for no reason other
Yeah.
than
After the
their
ball's
vicinity.
down.
After
That's
like that was, you know, take your squishy sandball and shove it. You know,
Yeah.
give me some NFL Blitz because like I'll be passive.
And now they got those like the pressure triggers, so you could really push down on the Really get that
absolutely.
feeling. Yeah.
Absolutely. There was nothing more gratifying than running in there with your big oversized head and just dropping elbows on.
Oh, it
random
did
amounts
have. Is that the one with the cheat that had the big?
there
big
were
head
so
mode?
many different cheats for that. Yeah.
I miss those times. That's another thing I wish I'd bring back to games is the cheats. Like Grand Theft Auto's had them.
Yep.
Quick controller inputs. Now you got to do a bunch of stuff, and it doesn't.
Do you remember getting that though? Like we'd have to go online
Yeah.
and then you'd print off a sheet of paper.
Yep,
with
and it would
all
get
the
yellow
cheats.
over time.
Yeah.
Like spill
Yes.
stuff out. You have to put it in your 3-ring binder or staple it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
No,
remember
that was
those days.
great.
So what are your games, Sam? What are your?
You know what? You say Xbox exclusive.
It could be Xbox,
mean,
PlayStation, or
I don't-
overall.
I mean, how many Xbox exclusive games are there that are worthwhile?
Not
Halo.
much.
Halo, Fable, Forza, Gears.
I mean, you know what I play. Halo,
Call-
I'd like my wheelhouse would just be Halo.
Okay.
I mean, I'm excited for Halo.
Yeah. Remaster. Let's go with that. A remaster / remake. If you could see any in the next 5 years, what would it be?
If I can see them being made, or do I want them?
You
to be
want them.
made?
Like if you
I
could just
want
pick
Counter Strike to come back.
Counter Strike.
I don't want
one,
them
though?
to
'Cause there's-
touch the original Counter
OG,
Strike. Like
okay.
before, so it went from PC. Like the first one that was on Xbox, I think it was just Xbox.
Mhm.
Like that was outstanding. You know, I mean, obviously, I'm from our earlier discussion. You know, I'm not as much of a fan of the increased graphics, but you know, increase the graphics in Counter Strike, leave the gameplay the same way it is,
Yeah.
and just sell it. You know, I mean, do the hostage terrorist situation. You know, like
Yeah.
that was fun. I don't even think did Counter Strike have a storyline?
No, I think it was just always online. That's it.
Yeah, I just remember like when the game started and you had to pick up all your stuff and you'd have to like joystick and then do it really quick and then run off to, you know, save the damsel in distress.
win.
I'm a huge Blitz fan. Like I would love NFL Blitz to come back. And obviously Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto is always good.
Yeah.
It never disappoints.
No.
And I don't know, was the last Grand Theft Auto open for cross-platform?
I don't think so.
I mean, how awesome would that be?
That would be cool. I would like to see though, and I don't know the logistics, like the whole city, everyone's playing on the city. Like you can go ahead and do like private maps and like go on with your friends and do like 16, but I want to see like the lobby where everyone is like
like rather than have two separate ways you enter in, you just enter in and everyone's there. Kind of like the Division.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and which was a fantastic game.
Mhm.
I was actually, that would be another one that I'd love to see come back out is the Division, because I don't think it got enough credit. I think the Division 1 people kind of played. I loved it.
Mhm.
That really, I think, was one of the first games that brought that, like, hey, we're gonna have this area in the middle that everybody can just kind of roam around and do whatever in, and you run across guys, and you just gotta. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was well put together. Which I was kind of hesitant with Tom Clancy's
Tom
Division,
Clancy,
right?
yeah.
So I had been rubbed wrong. I had been convinced to play. Did you ever play End War?
No, I don't think so.
It was
No.
horrible.
Was that a Tom Clancy game too?
absolutely horrible. It was Tom Clancy's End War, and you'd go. It was kind of like a Command and Conquer type idea. You'd go and build up all these units.
Also,
and
it
it
was an
would take-
RTS.
Yeah, it would
Real-time
take,
strategy,
I mean,
yeah.
hours of play to build up all these units. And then you go into battle and you're feeling great. You're like, I can actually use them now. And then somebody that was like a level 20 would take out your, 10 hours worth of work. And then it destroyed it. Like you couldn't get them back.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. So once they were taken all the way down, they could either go away or they could finish you all the way off. And then you don't have that unit anymore. It was like the realism. And
that sucks.
it was the first, I think it was really one of the first games too, where it tried to incorporate, your voice into the game. So like you could tell your units like, hey, go here or do something.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I
remember. It was awesome.
I remember that game now. I remember that game.
And I would love to see, Brink. I would
The one with the wall walking?
The one with the wall walking.
Yeah.
I think Brink came out too early. I think it was way ahead of its time. I mean, it did wall walking in it was like 2011. Well before that got popular
Titanfall
with
and all that stuff like that.
and it was dynamic. It had what you were talking about where you could respawn as like a medic or an engineer or I think there were two other different classes, and it was all about teamwork
Yeah.
and not individual play, and it was just cool. But I think with a game like that, those are hard to get a lot of backing on because you really do need a team to play.
Yeah.
So, but it was a fun game. It had good content. I loved playing it while I did, but unfortunately, there weren't enough people to play against.
Yeah. Joey, what's your remake of choice? Tell me about that. Like, again, any game. Next 5 years.
You know what? I can't really think of anything.
What's a game you played as a kid that you loved, that you couldn't put down?
I can't even think about it right now.
You can't even think of a single
No.
one? That's okay.
NFL
Okay.
Blitz is the one I can think of.
They already
you know,
remade my
of-
game, so I don't even care. They made the Final Fantasy VII remake, and that's all I needed. Although now they're supposedly doing part 2. It's in development or something like that. So, I don't know. I think we covered a lot today, and it's going to be an interesting. It's going to be an interesting generation. I just, as long as they don't try to price gouge people, that's my biggest thing from it. That whole push of this Game Pass thing, Game Pass.
Xbox is not able to price gouge after today.
Yeah, well, yeah. When I saw the comments and I saw the stuff on Twitter, and we did a Twitter poll on our Twitter, and it's small. I think we only have like 9 followers right now.
Yeah. Let's go. There we go.
We're getting there. We're almost double digits. We're almost 2 figures.
I'll get us a solid 10.
I hope so. So even most people seem to be on that PlayStation side right now. And you know what? Microsoft can make all this better if they just, I don't know what it is. Something's has not been the same since the Xbox One. It's like that did something that just couldn't bring them back to the 360 days.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't tell what it is, but something's just not right.
Does Microsoft make money off the games that they allow to
Yeah,
put on
it's
their
licensing and stuff like that.
console? So I mean, is there a selection process, or is this like do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think so, yes.
Let's increase the selection process. Let's make some criteria. Have the users get audited, or not audited, but send out surveys for them to say, like, what would you like in a game, and then start using what that feedback is to hold your game makers accountable to some sort of standard. Because
they won't care.
I mean, no. Well, I'm telling you now, any of the Lego Batman, Star Wars, whatever, has better content than the storyline of Call of Duty. You heard it here first. So I will stand by it. I remember playing like any of the Lego series, especially the Star Wars one. And that was just, it was more entertaining than playing the 5-minute campaign on any of the last 3 Call of Duties.
Yeah. Did you ever play, what was it called? I think it was called PlayStation World. It was on PS3. And it was a time waster game. It came in pre-installed on PS3. You go in there and you could walk around and go to malls and socialize with people and like bowl and do all that kind of stuff. And you said something.
Like a game for a lonely person.
Well, you know what? It could have been. But the part, I actually know a lot of people that really liked playing that. And I think to myself, that's basically like a time waster. But if you were saying something earlier about, I can't remember what it was. Whatever it was you were saying something earlier made me think about how they could, if they could create these kind of like base level social free games to kind of get those surveys out there.
Yeah.
To hear what people are saying. I mean, they're going to collect data no matter what you do. So if it's not the games you're playing, it's who you're talking to or whatever. Because I'm willing to bet we're not the only ones that think this way. Because there's got to be a reason why some companies, Naughty Dog, Rockstar, all them, have crazy sales.
Oh, absolutely.
And everyone's mad at EA. But somehow EA is still selling? That's the part I never understood. If everybody knows this is going on.
Because there's no competition. If you think about it, there's no competition. What's the competition for Madden?
Well, not Blitz, because it's not out anymore.
Even if there was a Blitz, that still wouldn't be a big competition.
What about the the college football? Isn't there?
When was the last college football? 2006.
Was it 2006? I said we bring out an XFL game.
You mean the XFL that got canceled?
Yeah, man.
Is that like what's pornographic football?
What's the or LFL?
Ladies Football League?
The Lingerie Football League.
Oh,
there you go.
The Powder Puff or whatever it's called.
Entirely different.
Oh, is that where the dudes are cheerleaders in that one, right?
Oh boy.
I don't know.
I don't know where.
Are you talking about like Homecoming?
I'm talking about I don't know. There's a
Like
Powder Puff football game. I don't remember.
It's way different. I think
Okay,
Ditka had a team.
I'm out of my.
I mean,
I'm out of my element.
But no, what I'm getting at is, so you got EA. They don't have to worry about it. Well, I mean, and plus the fact you got NBA 2K, who's competition with them. Well, EA has NBA Live that sucks.
I've never heard anybody playing NBA Live either. Like, I've never seen that game ever.
Well, and I think the problem is too, it's like you look at those two organizations, from a sports standpoint, you've got the NFL, which is literally the only football league in the world that plays that sport.
Right, but let me ask you something. I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to ask you, what was the best football game, NFL wise, besides, I know you're going to say, besides Blitz, what was the best one? And you can go back any year, because I'm just curious to see what you say. Because don't forget, 2K made a football game for a while too.
I mean, well, hold on. What was the one that I beat you in?
I'm not going to answer that.
Okay, so what was the one with the Adrian Peterson on the cover?
Don't answer that.
Oh, that was Madden.
No, don't.
It was like
don't.
18 or
No,
19.
It was,
No.
yeah, it was those. It was that.
No,
one.
it wasn't
Yeah.
Madden 18 or 19.
Sure, it was
It
that.
was like
I said it
Madden.
much earlier.
Madden 25.
It was Madden 25.
Was that
yes.
Madden
It was
25? I enjoyed
25.
that one. I mean, but
That wasn't the one though. The one that you got me in was the one with Sherman, Madden 16.
With Richard Sherman on the
Richard
cover.
Sherman on the cover.
Mine is NFL 2K5.
Oh, yeah, you said that last week.
NFL 2K5 is the best, hands down, best football game ever made. The 2K series football games better than Madden, hands down. Those were the.
What made them better? Like what's the difference? I don't know what
The
difference is.
gameplay was better. The 2K5's collision is better than any Madden to date.
Mhm.
The things that you can do. Remember the crib? You had there was a section called the crib, and you would have like trophies in there. You could play. They had Jamie Kennedy in there. They had
God.
Flex. They had Carmen Electra. They had their own teams, and you could play them, and then you would win things as that. But during season mode, anything that you the presentation, they had Berman doing the ESPN. You know the guy. He's the guy that he's at the 10, the 5.
Yeah. The one.
Yeah.
Jason.
He would do the presentation at halftime, and
Yeah.
the presentation was phenomenal because they would do replays. They would talk about this guy broke off for this, and they would have news reports. I mean, the franchise mode was just in depth, the best. You play a game, you're able to the throwing, the running, everything it's still better to Madden now.
Yeah.
And that's in 2K5.
Well, I think the problem with like modern sports games is that they don't have much to add to it, so then they try to give you like extra things to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh well, and before you could throw a pass, but now you can lob a pass if you hold down like L1 and hit triangle. And I think that takes away from the game because at the end of the day, it's like when I play as a release. Like I go home, that's how I de-stress.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to remember 45 button configurations to
You just
be
want to
good
throw the
at
ball.
something.
Yeah.
I think in sports cases, I think it's hard to make
Oh, that's
a
interesting.
competitive game because Madden's backed by the NFL. That's the first logo you see on there, right?
Yeah.
No, the NFL's not going to give the rights to another game. I'm sure there's some sort of contract.
Yeah,
there.
they just signed a new one with EA.
And I think the only game that's really been successful at competing against a big game like that is what is it, PES, the soccer game. It's
FIFA. Yeah, I know you're talking about. Not the FIFA competitor, yeah.
But PES, I know.
There's a lot of people that love that, and I've for some reason I could never get into it because instead of having Ronaldo, you had Olnaldo, because they didn't have the copyrights of the players.
Right.
You knew who they were, but
Right.
it was just like whatever. I never got into it, but the sports gaming is just way different, and I think we're just gonna be stuck with what we got.
When 2K, when the NFL had 2K though, they pushed Madden, got pushed, and Madden's football games were improving. When Madden strictly took over the NFL, when NFL just gave it to them, they declined because there's no competition. What do we care?
Mm-hmm.
But and remember the days when 2K came out? I was telling Dom this. I think it was the last episode. Remember when the price was on those brand new?
No,
$20.
yeah.
They were $20, and then you were and the Maddens were at that time $50, brand new. So you're saving yourself $30, and the game is a lot better. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I just want a football game that has the color commentary done by Pat Summerall.
You know, I
That's
will
all
say,
I want.
That was the old Madden.
Yeah, he was the guy that goes to the 20.
Oh, I don't even remember.
You don't remember that?
I don't
Yeah,
remember
when a guy would go on a big breakaway, he's like, to the 20, to the 15.
Him and John Madden together.
Yep.
The one thing I remember from the old games, the new games, I don't know how they figured this out, but remember the game, they would go, what was his name? So it'd be like, Donovan McNabb passes to number 25. When the audio wasn't like clipped together, they didn't have as many samples. So it'd be like, that was an amazing pass to Terrell Owens. It always just like made me laugh.
That's great.
Now they're seamless. We play NBA 2K
Yeah.
like almost every weekend, and you can't even I cannot tell that how they got that system to work the way that they did.
Yeah.
See, that's another game I can't play to save my life.
You don't want to.
No, I double dribble all the time. That's
will.
another one where it's the button configurations. It used to be, hey, if you want to shoot a pass, you hit.
Let me tell you about
If
button
you wanna
configuration,
shoot, like
Sam.
a-
let me
like a
hold
nice-
on. Let me go ahead and just let me describe to you something about button. I 100% agree with you, Sam. 'cause-
I can't stand it.
So when I picked up NBA 2K, so Joey and I could play something because he plays a lot of fighting games with
Yep.
me, and that's not his first choice. And Madden, both of you can eat it. So I went ahead and got NBA 2K, and I'm like, you know what? That sounds more fun. It's not like play after play. That I hit 4-3 and shotgun. I don't know what any of that is, and I don't want to learn that stuff. I don't care. Okay. So Joey's like, okay, just to be fair, let me teach some of the controls because we just went right in. I didn't even know
Yeah.
how to shoot the basket. He's like, okay, so you press B to shoot, you press A to pass, you press X to steal. Joey, I found out, is a liar because every time I press X to steal,
Yeah.
my guy just straight up fouls the
First
dude.
of all, I'm not lying. You even see that. It says in the game.
Then the
X
game
is a
lied to
steal.
you. Transitive property. And you became, because he can steal. He pushed it, suddenly the ball's out.
Absolutely.
But I push it.
How did you do with shooting? Because whenever I play one of those NBA games,
You didn't do
know
bad.
those those
sometimes I'm-
inflatable dummy things that are outside of T-Mobile and whatnot. That's what my guy looks like when I'm trying to shoot. Like he just goes up and tries to do the wave and flail.
Sometimes, and there's a lot of parameters involved. But that game seems very complicated at like a coding level because there's like a lot of different nuances to where your character stands, who's around him. Like all the little positions seem to matter as far as when to shoot, and obviously the player stats himself, and that is what gives Joey a huge advantage in those games. You too, because you just know, like I'm gonna throw to this guy
Yeah.
because he can run faster than this guy, and I'm just like, well, the button says B is open. So I'm gonna push that, and then somehow a dude intercepts it, and then I get mad.
Hey, you want to get under Dom's skin real quick? Ask him about Trae Young.
No, do you even pay? Do you follow basketball at all, Sam?
Not a little bit.
Okay,
no.
I didn't think so.
But
I think
just
the last time I watched a basketball,
just
game was
randomly go up to
Don't worry about
just be
Trae
like,
Young.
Trae Young and
I-
watch him in the mid sentence just go. He
I hate
yeah,
Trae-
the
I hate
last
Trae Young.
basketball game.
I don't hate
watched
the
was
guy.
like-
I just the
Dom,
idea.
just
of
for
him.
our viewers, why don't you just explain just real quick why you don't like Trae Young? What happened?
How many points did Trae Young score on you, Dom?
He broke 2 NBA records that Joey broke. He got 100 points in one game, over 100 points.
104 points.
And then he had the most. How many threes was it?
I think almost 20.
So you got weak D.
Very. In that particular instance, Sam, yes, your statement would be,
weak.
your observation would be correct. However, in other situations, it's still weak, but better. But once he gets a rhythm going, there's nothing I can do, and then it's just the basketball game. So men, at least, right? You snap the ball, you have a frame, right? You pick the play, and you have like an idea of kind of what's going to happen. In the basketball games, it's like a totally different thing. You have to pay attention to 5 dudes. I don't know how to pronounce these guys' names, let alone what positions they play, let alone what they're even doing standing over there. I just know I press A, and then Joey presses a button and he steals the ball because he got in the way.
Oh, I can't. Yeah, I can't play.
It's
basketball
very infuriating. It's very infuriating. And then you try like go into practice mode, and it's like, all right, I think I understand this. I'm stealing it from what's his face.
Yeah.
Right. And then you play, and it's like, no, it doesn't work
games.
that
Yeah.
way.
No, I travel. Like it'll
yeah.
be like 5 minutes in the first quarter, and I've traveled
Dom goes
45 times just trying to shoot the ball.
Dom does a backcourt violation.
All the time.
Oh yeah.
I haven't done goaltending yet, which I'm surprised I haven't with how many times. And Joey says, press Y to block it. That's a lie.
No, it's not.
It's a lie.
I've shown you.
Is your guy just randomly just jumping?
Yeah, he
up?
just jumps up.
Yeah.
And you'll see me. Like Joey will go and he'll get a rebound and he'll run to the other side. And I just start pushing buttons because I get nervous. And so you'll just see my dude like just jump up as the camera pans over. to the other
Just-
side of the court.
Just wait. I'll top Trey Young on the new Halo. Because
Oh my-
as long as I can teabag and you have to watch me do it for 5 seconds.
Watch, they took that feature out because it's not PC culture.
See, there's a
I'm gonna knock on their door. Like
Yeah.
You can't. So
That's
there's
what
so
made
many
online games
arguments
online
that
games.
I believe teabagging was what made
competitive games.
very how
popular.
you're gonna take what made where we're at now what it is.
Because some 12-year-old gets mad and he tells his mom.
Yeah. So report me on Xbox or
Yeah.
PlayStation.
It's
Say
all
that was
you're just
offensive.
crouching. My button was stuck over your face.
10 times in a row. Yeah, because that's what I used to do. Because like I would go and kill somebody because I was good at Halo,
Yeah.
and then I just teabag their body until they came back, and then I kill them again and go teabag that body. And it was just kept
And Halo
going.
does make you watch too, right? It's 5-second respawns.
Yeah,
or whatever.
so you have to watch it. And I actually it was so bad once that I had a guy take a picture of him flicking off his Kinect, which like I don't know what level of rage you need to get to be able to do that, and he sent that to me as a picture. So I just got a picture of some random guy with his headphones on, controller in one hand, flicking off his
That's funny.
his Kinect.
That's
We
funny.
might lose some subscribers because of him because they probably like this guy.
Yeah, they'll remember.
Yeah, my name was El Taint Liquor.
Oh my god. That's funny.
Xbox also found that to be inappropriate, so
Yeah.
now it's a plus size model.
Well,
So
regardless of what happens, I think we got to wrap things up here. This has been a great episode, but I really hope that, and I believe that Microsoft's going to be doing multiple showcases until the launch. I know we didn't get to pricing or any of the other stuff, but I actually like how this episode went because I think what matters is the games, and we talked basically about that. And so hopefully,
Our podcast was better than the Xbox showcase.
I think it was a little bit more entertaining. That yes, this is.
well, I mean, there was one thing here that wasn't
Well,
here last
two
time.
things.
I'm just saying.
Oh,
So
boy.
Kyle, step your game up if you're watching.
Oh my god. He's gonna. Okay, this will be like an internal drama saga. Yeah.
We
Oh,
might have a
that's-
podcast
yeah.
battle.
It's
yeah.
it's happening, and don't get my microphone dusty.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for listening. I really hope you enjoyed this. Next week, I don't even think we have a topic for next week. Let's pick a topic for next week. What should we talk about next week? What would be a fun topic?
Anime.
Anyways, not technology.
I know. I'm
No,
just joking.
I will not. No, see, okay.
I'm
yeah.
always joking. I don't
You,
like
you know what would
anime.
actually be nice, and I mean maybe it stems away from gaming, but it's still technology. It's
Yeah.
like the home systems. I think there's
Smart
a
home
lot
stuff.
of
I like that.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of misconceptions on smart home things. I know you and I have talked about it quite a bit.
Yes.
I've
yes.
got my whole house set up to Google right now.
Uh-huh.
Love it.
Uh-huh.
You know,
I got the same Nest cams. I'm in the same boat. I just
I
yeah.
mean, a comparison to what's out there, what you should get, you know, the pros and cons of
Oh, yeah.
what you have. You know, I mean, I've got everything except for the Nest Detect, the smoke alarm, which you have, so you can talk on that point. You know, I mean,
They're nice. I got the
and
Roomba too.
this weekend. I'm gonna be buying the Nest Lock by Yale. So
Well, you know what? That sounds like a good episode. So, hey, guys, yeah, definitely tune in next week. We'll be doing smart home stuff. Yeah, because you got a bunch of smart home stuff too, Joey. So that'll be a good.
What's a smart home?
Oh, God. Okay, here we go. Anyway, guys, thanks
it's a
for
home with
listening.
me in it.
Take care, guys.
Take care. Thanks, guys.